Coming up on this edition of the Met Report, the Mile High City got a visit from President Obama. We will tell you why.
And we give you a look into Destination Station at Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum.
And text our call, we will show you which one Metro students prefer. Welcome to this edition of the Met Report. I'm Peter Aragon.
And I'm Rosario Chavarria Valdez.
We begin with some breaking news. Senior al-Qaeda leader Anwar al-Awlaki was killed in Yemen early this morning. Homeland Security has called him the most significant threat since the killing of Osama bin Laden. Al-Awlaki's been linked to the 9/11 attacks and in more recent years had been linked to the Fort Hood shooting as well as the potential bombing in Times Square. The American-born al-Qaeda operative had ties to Colorado. In 1990, he studied at CSU. He then graduated in '94 with a degree in civil engineering. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Well, unemployment is still a hot-button issue. This week, the president brought what he calls a jump start to the economy here to Denver. Anthony Costura was there and joins us with more on the president's proposal to get people back to work.
That's right, guys. President Obama's economic solution is just right here in this proposal of the American Jobs Act, but it's a lot to read through. The act proposes tax breaks for employers, school reconstruction, road work, and putting people back to work. But we ask, will it be successful?
Hello, Denver!
President Obama was in the Mile High City to develop support for his proposed American Jobs Act.
Now, I know it's kind of thick, but it boils down to two things: putting people back to work and putting more money in the pockets of working Americans.
And with Colorado's unemployment rate at 8.5% in 2011, citizens are demanding jobs and dollars, not change. And a few ways the president wants to relieve that include modernizing at least 35,000 public schools across the country, and it would provide a $4,000 tax credit to employers for hiring long-term unemployed workers.
They gave me hope, and I think he is serious about it, and I hope he does something about it.
Passing this act will be no easy task with an election year coming up. The hope from 2008 has turned into determination in 2012, despite facing opposition and criticism from the GOP.
Some even said that if they agree with the proposals in the American Jobs Act, they still shouldn't pass it because it might give me a win. Think about that. Give me a win, give me a break. That's why folks are fed up with Washington.
I have hope. I think it's a tough sell. We have a really deadlocked Congress, so it'll be tough trying to get it passed, but I think it's the right thing to do.
Now, we all know the presidential election is only 14 months away, and next week I'll be sitting down with a political science professor talking about why Colorado is such a key state for any candidate running for the White House.
Well, thank you, Anthony. I can't wait to hear about that story and can't wait to see whether the Job Act passes or fails.
All right, thank you.
Well, what the Met Report wants to know is what you thought of Obama's visit and his proposed American Jobs Act. You can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at the Met Report, all one word. We'd love to have your input.
The price of higher education is on the rise. In fact, Colorado is the 5th most expensive among Western states. Now a new proposition could help give relief to students. Met Report's Benjamin Smith explains. Benjamin?
Thanks, guys. With the ever-rising cost of tuition, a new tax should be the last thing on anybody's mind. But a new bill coming up in November could provide a glimmer of hope on the financial horizon.
Colorado is just tough to go to college in.
Proposition 103 suggests a state tax increase over the next 5 years, which would support all levels of education. Colorado needs the help, according to the United States Department of Education, which projects that by the end of this year, Colorado could see a $10 million decrease in education funds.
If you want to stimulate the economy, you invest.
Currently, the Colorado state income tax rate is 4.63%. But with the new bill, the rate could jump to 5%. This money could go towards any level of education, from kindergarten through grad school.
This can, have pretty good benefits for our future.
Proposition 103 could do many things, such as funding financial education programs like the College Opportunity Fund, increase income for teachers, and even lower tuition rates. We talked to several students on campus and got mixed opinions about the bill.
I support the increase the tax layer.
A lot of kids do need funding just to get into school and everything.
However, with our economy being very in a treacherous path right now, it would not benefit.
Should Colorado support the underfunded education system? Or is this new tax increase just too much on an already burdened economy? For the Met Report, I'm Benjamin Smith. Back to you in the studio.
All being said, we leave you with one staggering statistic. The United States Department of Education funding estimates that there will be a $31 billion increase in the student debt in the U.S. between the years 2011 and 2012.
Rumors have been spreading around campus about potential change in Metro's no credit policy. We did some checking and found that these rumors are not true, and the school does not intend to change the current policy. As it stands right now, you will be able to drop one class without having to drop any others.
Going green is all the craze these days, and many people could be trying to find a way to do it on campus. Met Report's Jordan Anderson shows us it's easier than you think. Jordan?
That's right, guys. I'm here on Aragon campus. Most students don't really know whether to recycle or just throw things away, but there are benefits and implications to both.
Personally, I don't use a car. I use public transportation.
I do work for an environmental organization.
To learn more about waste and doing our part to reduce it, I sat down with Dr. Richard Wagner, a climatologist at Metro.
A pretty large proportion of all the climate scientists agree that not all of the climate change may be responsible or related to human activity. At least a good part of it is.
Americans use 1 million tin and steel cans each day. Every year, Americans use approximately 1 billion shopping bags, creating 300,000 tons of landfill waste. And enough plastic is produced in the United States each year to shrink wrap Texas. The United States recycles about 32% of its waste today. Compost can capture and destroy 99.6% of industrial organic chemicals in contaminated air, and 82 million tons of material are recycled in the United States.
Instead of driving 3 blocks to the grocery store, walk that, bike that, choose to use the bus, other alternative forms.
For the Met Report, I'm Jordan Anderson.
Last week we told you about a new space exhibit at Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum. And now, once again, we've lost Laura in space.
Hey Metro, I'm Laura Griffith with Losing Laura, and this week I'm lost at the Destination Station NASA exhibit at the Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum. I'm here with Kellen and Ben, and we're going to learn about this new exhibit about the daily lives of the astronauts on the International Space Station. And takeoff is right through this door.
Destination Station is a traveling multimedia exhibit with a wide variety of displays that show what life was like on the station and what research the astronauts performed. The main display is a life-size replica of one of the modules on the station. The module has everything from computers to research stations to even sleeping compartments. While we were there, we were able to interview one of the astronauts that was working on the space station, astronaut Dorothy Metcalf Lindenberger.
It's wonderful to be in space. It's exciting to represent your country and to work with people from other countries around the world that have all built the International Space Station. It's challenging, it's beautiful, it's fun.
Along with the displays and being able to talk to astronauts, they also have interactive exhibits that will tell you about the space station. They will also explain how what they are doing on the station affects daily life here on Earth. With all the life-size displays and everything to see, there's plenty to do and lots to learn. For the Met Report, I'm Laura Griffith.
For more information about admission and the exhibit, you can visit www.wingsmuseum.org.
It's always interesting when we lose Laura.
Yeah,
I feel like I learned so much.
We always get a new experience, but we definitely need to get that girl a GPS.
Coming up after the break, texting seems to be more popular than calling, but is that true for everyone?
Plus, we give you a behind-the-scenes look at the new Metro State play, Tartu. Come on back.
Believe in yourself, realize that anything is possible, keep your eyes on the prize.
When you're at your weakest point, grace can rise up and pull you out.
So I felt like I was filling a void.
Even when I'm faced with difficult situations, I can always find something to smile about.
Little simple ways. I mean, there's really lots of things you can plug into.
Welcome back. Well, it seems now people text each other over call, but is one more beneficial than the other? Met Report's Melissa Teasdale found out that students here have their own preferences.
Thanks, guys. Text or call is the hot question of the day. Whether Americans prefer to text or call is so important in the business and social world, but data still shows that Americans still prefer the call over the text. There are many reasons people might prefer texting. For one, text messaging provides greater accessibility and encourages briefer, more efficient exchanges of information. So instead of a 30-minute conversation with your mom, it is now changed into 2 text messages within 10 minutes. On the other hand, calling is more personal and more suitable for a business situation. You wouldn't want to text your boss saying that you're not coming in that day. You would want to call them. Also, in relationships, texting can get you into trouble if your partner takes it wrong or doesn't get your tone. While on a call, you would not have this problem. We hit the campus to see what college students prefer, call or text.
Probably do more texting than I do calling, and I think it's just because it's easier. I can ask a friend a quick question about like something I'm wondering at the moment. He'll get back to me whenever he gets a chance.
So if I'm catching up with somebody, I'd prefer to hear their voice and actually call and talk to them and have a conversation, as opposed to like, hey, let's just text awkwardly over the next 2 hours.
It was surprising to find out that texting wasn't the favorite over calling among college students, but whichever one you choose, make sure that you're doing it safe. No texting while driving or even walking. For the Met Report, I'm Melissa Teasdale, and I gotta take this call. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Melissa. It's always great to hear stories of Metro graduates who have had success out there in the real world. Brandy Shigley is a Metro State alumni who recently was invited to speak at a TEDx event. TEDx is a nonprofit group that hosts conferences made up of a wide range of subjects to foster learning and inspiration. Angela Jackson had an exclusive interview with her. Take a look.
Thanks, guys. I'm downtown here in front of Fashion Denver, and these TED Talks are designed to showcase people who are breaking boundaries and making an impact on the community. And recently, Metro grad Brandy Shigley had the chance to tell her story.
I wanted to create an outlet and the resources and tools for other independent designers and entrepreneurs to really grow from. So that is what Fashion Denver is all about.
Her unique shop was opened in 2004 to feature the talent of local designers. A professed dreamer and doer, Brandy is helping to get Denver on the fashion map.
The fashion scene in Denver is actually pretty big, and whatever role Fashion Denver can play in growing that fashion scene, we're all about it.
Brandy found it encouraging to be around all the extraordinary people at TED. She also found inspiration while walking the halls of Metro State.
I would say the most important thing I learned at Metro is how can I be myself and really thrive in an environment that suits me.
Her inside tip for success to all current roadrunners is to just be yourself.
Follow your passions, dream big, really take everything that you're learning in school to apply towards what it is that you love.
Reporting from downtown, Angela Jackson, The Met Report.
Thank you, Angela. Well, speculation is rising about the release of the iPhone 5. On October 4th, though, Apple will be holding a preview event showing the iPhone 5's latest feature, specs, and overview of the model. Many phone holders, whether iPhone or Droid, is excited for the release of iPhone 5.
A new trend has intrigued college students across the nation. SeekingArrangements.com is a website where girls and guys who are called sugar babies can set up meetings with sugar daddies or sugar mommies who will do things like pay rent, buy groceries, and even spoil their sugar babies with materialistic things in exchange for their company. Next week, we will have more on this unique site.
Well, now I'm here with Jacob LeBeer, the student trustee for Metro State. Jacob, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it seems like tuition is going up once again. Can you tell us why exactly and about how much could it possibly go up?
Well, it's hard to really say how much because right now we don't really have an actual dollar figure, but we have a preliminary percentage, and that has to do with the state budget and where we're at. What we've got from our legislative report is that the state budget could be cut in higher ed anywhere from $100 million to even $500 million, which obviously would be a drastic increase. And then with that, and also we see enrollments down here at Metro for the fall, and we're looking like it'll probably be down again for the spring. So with that, just off the top, it's probably going to be a minimum of a 15% increase is what we're looking at for next year.
It's for fall of 2012?
Yep,
okay.
Fall of 2012.
And we heard about a possible name change, and is there anything else that's coming on with the name change, or is it just still stuck there?
Right now we're looking at repolling students and alumni and just seeing where people in the community are at and if they still want to try to push forward with DSU, if that's still the favorite name here at Metro, and then the board's going to act on it and see if we're going to make a push for the state legislator to make a name change. So.
Does it seem like there's any other names that people are more excited about?
I haven't heard anything that indicates that there's a more popular name right now, but I know that they're going to look at 3 different names just to make sure that that's what they want to push for.
All right. Well, thank you, Jacob, for joining us here, and back to you, Rosario, on desk.
An anonymous donor recently donated $1 million to the Metro State's Water Studies program. The money will be used for a 5-year pilot project and was also given to the One World, One Water Center for Urban Water Education and Stewardship. This is the single largest private donation the college has ever received.
Well, I'm sure that Metro State really enjoys all that money that they just got.
I'm very sure Metro State really appreciates that.
Definitely. Well, coming up after the break, Jasmine Dell joins us for entertainment and takes you backstage at Dancing with the Stars, Broomfield.
And Devin Von Miller joins us to get us updated on Metro Sports.